What's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. Had our couple days off, ready to get back into the swing of things. 3-game Thursday night WNBA slate, $20,000 to first. Love to see that. Let's look back at my lineup for the Commissioner's Cup Championship. I mentioned that I thought Minnesota would win, so that's why I went Fee at captain. They did win. Kind of happy about that. I really like that Minnesota team. I went Fee. I did play Stewie and JJ, who only took like 3 shots. Don't know what was up with that. And then I played Courtney Williams, mentioned how high I was on her. She had a really good game. And then I double punted. Zandalasini had a great game. Kennedy Burke had a great game. So really can't complain. But John Quell almost kept me out of cash, which would have really been tilting, but I mean, anytime you can make a profit is a good time. The game was really good. Bridget Carrollton went nuts, and we had a guy in the Discord almost bank it. So it was a good night. So hope everybody else made a little bit of money. But let's go look at the odds for these 3 games, and then we'll break it down team by team. Lynx and Wings, it is the early game, the early showdown. Lynx are a massive favorite. They are having to travel, though. It is Dallas. It is an early game, too. 10-point spread, over under 161.5. I figure, Dallas has just looked putrid, so I don't even think being tired and traveling is really going to affect them. For some reason, DraftKings Sportsbook never has the Connecticut Sun game. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I would imagine they're like 10-point favorites. It's Washington, so somewhere around there. Aces at the Sky, 11.5-point spread, over under 171. Fever at the Storm, the late night hammer, 8.5-point spread, over under 168. But let's do this team by team and break these 3 games down, and we'll go from there. On the Connecticut side, Alyssa Thomas, I just got the notification that she's questionable. Or that she's probable, but it did spook me because I've been doing underdog drafts and I've been getting a ton of Alyssa Thomas. And as soon as I saw Alyssa Thomas, before I read the rest, I was getting extremely tilted. But fantastic spend up. She had a good game last time out. Obviously, some down games recently. There is some blowout risk here. Washington, not the best team, but they have played better of late. They beat Dallas back-to-back games. They had a competitive game against New York. So I would expect this game to stay competitive. The only thing that does worry me is Connecticut plays really good defense, so that is always the biggest equalizer. Obviously, I have no issues paying up for Alyssa Thomas. You know what she's going to do. She's going to pitch into the peripherals like one of the best in the WNBA. It's just, will she score? That's the biggest factor with her. If she does score well, if she scores 15 plus real life points, she's going to absolutely nuke. So keep that in mind. Dewana Bonner, fantastic tournament play, 9K. Price keeps dropping for her. She's not shot the ball well. She's not played well of late. 3 games of her last 4 sub 10 real life points. She is getting rebounds at least, so that's been consistent, but she's not shot the ball well from 3 at all. She's not shot the ball well from the field in general. So great tournament play. I would expect her to, this would be the get right game in my opinion. Bree Jones, 8,300, love the price for her. Should play high 20s, maybe even touch 30 minutes, maybe even go over that if the game is competitive, and she's playing well. Most of her fantasy production comes from points. She is a good rebounder. She's just not asked to do it a lot. She just kind of boxes out and lets AT get all the boards. So don't mind Bree Jones. Dejanay and Harris are fine at their prices. Probably lean Harris for the little bit of a discount. Carrington will pitch in a little bit more, but neither are priorities on a slate like this where there's much clearer plays that we're going to talk about soon. Olivia Nelson-Adota, not for me. Minutes just aren't there. Like, they're up and down. You never know what you're going to get with her. She's not a very good fantasy point per minute player. If you land on her and you're playing a whole bunch of lineups, I guess you can play her. Tiffany Mitchell, 4K, playing big minutes, just a really, really poor fantasy point per minute player. The worst on the team, but she's fine. The minutes are going to be there for her. She's going to play 15 to 20 off the bench. Banham, another one, not the best fantasy point per minute player, but she's a good 3-point shooter, so she'll have a game every now and then where she pops. Obviously, like this game is her ultra ceiling game, but she's fine. She should play 10 to 12, maybe a little bit more off the bench. No interest in Burton or Nadir Fall. Jefferson is out for a few weeks on ankle surgery. Washington side, Atkins 9,400. Usage is going to be there. It's just will her shots fall. Shot 2 of 13 last time out, 3 of 9 time before that. The usage is going to be there because of all the injuries. I don't mind her. She's been pitching into the peripherals quite a bit of late, besides this one game against Indy where she only had 3 peripheral stats. But I love the upside that she brings. And like I always say with her, if the first couple shots go in, she can put up a really, really big score. Sykes is out until after the Olympic break, so definitely don't play her. Dolson, 8,200. Price is a bit steep in my opinion now with Aaliyah Edwards expected to be back. She was a full participant in practice today. She's listed as questionable, but I'm expecting her to be back and back to her normal 29, 30 minutes a night. So I prefer her over Dolson for a little bit of a discount, but neither are that big of a priority in my opinion. Van Loo, 6,700. Minutes haven't been the best, but with Carly out, she suffered a left hand fracture. She's out until after the Olympic break. So with her out, it does boost Van Loo, SWK, Melbourne. All will have to play more minutes. Might mean a few minutes to Dee Dee Richards, a few more. She's been playing a few of late. So keep an eye on them. I could see them maybe with the way Ingsler played the past couple games, maybe finding a way to get her some extra minutes, maybe even playing her at the 3 some. I just don't think she fits there, so probably doesn't mean that. It does mean with Edwards expected to be back that the Ingsler train has been derailed, so really can't play her because the minutes just aren't secure anymore. I mean, she should play maybe 10 to 12 off the bench, maybe play a few more if she's playing well or if they want to play her at the 3. Misha Hines-Allen, another one that really hard to prioritize playing at her price point when she's going to max out at maybe 15 to 18 minutes. SWK, I do have quite a bit of interest in. I would expect her to get the start, play high 20s minutes. And, I mean, you're not going to ever get just a truly elite game out of her like this 28 minutes where she scores 28 fantasy points. That's pretty much the absolute ceiling you can get out of her. She's not a very good fantasy point per minute player, but she can pitch in the peripheral stats. Decent shooter, fine play, really good value play in my opinion. Fine play overall. Melbourne, mentioned her. I think she's a fine value play. Minutes have been better of late. I would expect her to play 10 to 15 minutes. She's a good fantasy point per minute player. And if the minutes are there, she can put up a decent score, so don't mind her. Obviously would like SWK more, assuming that she starts. Like I said, Richards, pure punt play. I would expect her to get a little bit of run, so if you're looking for a cheap punt play, you can go there. Aces at the Sky on the Aces side, Asia Wilson at the top. Don't need to talk about her. If you have the salary, you should absolutely play her. She 4Xs her salary practically every night and has potential to absolutely nuke any slate with a 60 or even a 70 bomb. So if you have the salary, you should play Asia Wilson. Jackie Young, 9,500. Fine play. Usage is still there with Chelsea Gray back, but it's really hit or miss. Like, she'll have a huge game, 34 real life points, 10 real life points, 32, and then 8. The peripherals are there, which I am happy to see. With Gray back, they're holding pretty firm, but we know the upside that Jackie Young brings. But there is some downside. She can be passive at times, but if the shots are falling, she's going to look for it and keep shooting. Kelsey Plum, 8,600, is fine. She's going to play mid-30s minutes with the potential to play a little bit more. Been really consistent at sub-30 fantasy point games, which is not the norm for her, but if that's what you're going to get, if she's going to be priced at this price point, I don't mind playing her in tournaments, especially. She has a ceiling that I don't think we've really seen this year yet. The peripheral stats are just down for her, and it really caps what she can really do on a slate. She's mostly scoring dependent this season. Alicia Clark, 6K, not for me. Only 15 minutes last time out. She's not going to start anymore. They've been starting Hayes. Eventually, Chelsea Gray will reclaim that starting spot from Tiffany Hayes, and then it'll be Clark and Hayes, pretty much the two off the bench. But 6K, just not a price tag I'm comfortable paying for someone that's probably going to play 15 to 18 minutes off the bench and is not a good fantasy point per minute player, is not going to command very much usage when she's on the floor, surrounded by usage monsters. Chelsea Gray, 5,700. Outside chance she starts this game. It would not shock me. She will return to the starting lineup at some point. Great game in her first game back. 0 for 2 shooting though. 19 fantasy points. 1 of 6 shooting in 17 minutes, and not a great fantasy game, but I'm expecting her to play 20 to 24 minutes. At that price, I have a lot of interest in someone of Chelsea Gray's talent level. And there's an outside chance that she starts, and if she does, it probably means even more minutes. So I am definitely interested in Chelsea Gray. I do have some interest in Tiffany Hayes, whether she starts or comes off the bench. Her minutes have been pretty secure, right around 20. She's been up and down, but at that price point, I think she can pay that price tag off. Kia Stokes will continue to start, 5,100, going to play right around 20 minutes, assuming no foul trouble. Is a decent play. She's just not going to score the ball very much. She's mostly out there to grab boards, block some shots. So you can play her. The price is decent on her, so that's fine. I'm kind of indifferent on that. Kate Martin, just an absolute X off with Chelsea Gray back. Minutes are just not safe. 10 minutes and then 8 minutes in the 2 games that Chelsea Gray's been back. As Gray gets to play more, it's going to come at the expense of Kate Martin's minutes. When Chelsea Gray's fully healthy, I would not expect Kate Martin to see the floor. Gustafson did play a little bit against Connecticut, saw 11 minutes. She's a good fantasy point per minute player. Her minutes are just not safe. Would not shock me if she just does not play in this game. Colson and Carter and Bell all just DNPs. They're not going to play unless something random happens, so don't play them. On the Chicago side, Angel Reese just been doing the damn thing. I mean, she's been great of late. Super efficient, which is not something that I thought I would be saying about her. The free throw percentage has been great of late. You can tell she's been putting the work in. Love that for her. Price is a bit steep, but I think you can pay it. People are worried about the Asia Wilson matchup. Angel Reese is a dog. She's got that dog in her, and she will be up for this matchup. I do have a little bit of foul concerns, but she's shown that she can go head-to-head with really anybody and hold her own. So I have interest in Reese, especially in tournaments. Mabry, one of the best tournament plays. She's not afraid to shoot it. We had that a little bit of a stretch there where she kind of was getting passive and didn't want to shoot it. She's shooting it again. 10 of 22, 8 of 14, 2 of 14 against Indiana. 1 of 10 shooting from 3. Obviously, big tournament winning upside in a player like Marina Mabry. I've mentioned it before. I like targeting players coming off bad shooting games. She's going to be lower owned. This matchup is the stone cold nuts. They play at crazy fast pace. The Aces want to just race to 90 points. Mabry will gladly join in that firefight to race to 90. Camila Cardoso, 8,400. Don't mind her. She's played well of late. Been really consistent. Should play right around 30 minutes. They're going to need her size out there, so don't mind her at 8,400. Kennedy Carter is one of my absolute favorite plays on this slate and on Underdog. Just going to play right around 30 minutes. Super efficient when she's on the floor shooting the ball. And when a team plays fast, they play right into what she does best. I love the price on her. Probably my favorite play on the slate, in my opinion, minus Asia Wilson. I mean, obviously, Asia's the best play on the slate. But Kennedy Carter's not too far behind for me. Dana Evans, minutes were way down last game. Only played 13, did not play very well. 4 fouls. She should see a tick back up in minutes, close to 18 to 20, but not someone that is a must, not someone that is even necessary on a slate like this. But if you're making a whole bunch of lines, you can probably have her in your player pool. Lindsey Allen, 4,900. Not the best fantasy point per minute player, but she's going to be out there. She's still been starting 27, 14, 27 minutes the past 3. She's really out there to get you some assists and some peripheral stats. Not the best scorer. She's not asked to even shoot the ball very much, so her upside is capped. Izzy Harrison going to play low teens minutes. Decent fantasy point per minute player on the season, so don't mind her, especially if Angel Reese was to get in foul trouble or Camila Cardoso. Harrison would get extended, so would make her look better. Diamond DeShields played well of late. I'm not personally chasing it. I mean, she was really bad in the 3 games before the last game against Indy. Really hard to trust, so probably just not for me. Oni Inwork, Hearsay, and Bree Turner, just DNP risk, not worth taking a punt risk on them. Last game of the night on the Indiana side, Caitlin Clark, 10.5K. Obviously, big upside. She played the entire game against Chicago, all 40 minutes. Only took 11 shots, 9 of those from 3. She was efficient shooting the ball. She was active in trying to get her teammates involved, which I like to see. So, big upside in a player like her. The peripherals are there, and I keep mentioning this. One of these days, she's going to have a 30 or 40 point real life game, and she's going to absolutely nuke a slate. So, never know when it's going to be. So you better have some shares of her if you're making 10 to 20 lines for sure. Aaliyah Boston, 9,800, back under 10K. Has been good. She had this one game against Atlanta where she only took 5 shots, 32 fantasy points, and then the game before that was 38, but 49, 52, 42. I have no issues with her, but I do worry that Fagbinlay is close to coming back. She's been practicing. Would not shock me if she plays. And then Dantas is back. And Coach Sides has already said she will be in the rotation. She's in their plans. So minutes are probably going to tick down a bit on Boston. I would not expect her to keep playing this 36. I would expect more along the lines of 29, 30, 31, maybe even push for like 32, 33. But those couple minutes add up, especially when you're talking about someone that's 9,800. Nalissa Smith is going to be the biggest problem for these minutes. I think a lot of them are going to come from her. She played 28 minutes against Chicago. At times, she just looks like she just does not care and does not want to play defense, doesn't look interested. And we all remember what her minutes were like. I mean, they benched her and started playing Fagbinlay and starting her before she got hurt. So it's definitely a worry and something to keep in mind. I'm projecting her for like mid-20s minutes, and if her attitude isn't there, I mean, she could play even less than that. She's a great tournament play for that reason. I think people will be Xing her off if Fagbinlay is back, but really, really hard to pay that price tag for someone that minutes could just dissipate at any moment now that the other bigs are healthy. Kelsey Mitchell, 8,100. Fine price. I mean, she's been shooting the ball a ton all season. She's shooting the ball well of late. I mean, she's 24, 17, 22, 18, 24 real life points the last 5. I rarely ever say this, but I have some interest in Kelsey Mitchell at 8,100 because she's just been shooting the ball so well. The peripheral stats are really never there at a consistent level, so you can never rely on that. But even though she is pretty score independent, I don't mind her here on this slate. Fagbenle, 7,600, not in play. Even if she's active at this price point, just not someone that I can recommend paying that price tag for. She will absolutely be on a minutes limit no matter what, if she's active or not. But at that price point, there's just no value. There's no meat on the bone to play her for now. Christy Wallace, 5,200. Minutes tick back up. She had a decent game. She's fine for value, just not someone you ever get excited for, and the minutes can get cut on her. Katie Lou, 5K even, pretty score independent. If she shoots the ball well, she may get extended a little bit. If she does not shoot the ball well, she may not pay off that 5K price point. Erica Wheeler, 4,800. She's fine. She's a little spark plug off the bench. Minutes are really up and down, though, and now they're adding more players coming off the bench. So best of luck. If you're chasing one of these Indiana bench plays, just good luck. Lexi Hull, I'm wondering if she's just going to be out of the rotation now with Dantas back. Celeste Taylor was waived. Saxton never plays. Grace Berger hasn't played in forever. Dantas, though, I do have a little bit of interest in. I wonder how many minutes she's going to play. I tend to think maybe 8 to 10. They may watch it. She may only play like 6. But at the flat men, if we do get news that she's going to see 10 to 12 minutes, I would have some interest in her at the flat men. On the Seattle side, Ezzy is the only one over 10K, and she is 10K on the number. Just been fantastic on the season. Great stock getter. Great peripheral stats. Good scorer. Her scoring has improved every season that she's been in the league. I love her at 10K. Matchup is exquisite. Speaking of matchup, NECA has one of the best ones in the Wnba. She's going to get to go against Nalissa Smith, who refuses to play defense. So absolutely love NECA at 9,600. Joel Lloyd, 9,300. One of the best tournament plays on the slate. She shot the ball abysmally of late. 3 of 15, 0 of 9, 5 of 15. Playing big minutes in a great matchup against the Fever. I have a lot of interest in Joel Lloyd. I think she's going to go way overlooked like she always does. And this price point, I mean, she's been 11K on the season, and she's all the way down to 9,300. So great buy low spot for her. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 9,100. Perfectly fine playing her. But for me, the gen in me, I'm just going to pay the extra $200 and play the upside play in Lloyd. Horston starting, 6,800. Absolutely love the price point on her. She's been playing big minutes of late and been converting them into good fantasy games. That's why she's in the starting lineup now. Whitcomb, can't recommend playing her. Only saw 5 minutes last time out. Same with Victoria Vivians. She only played 6 minutes last time out. They ran their starters an absolute ton. So love the starting 5 on Seattle. A lot of ways you can go and get different. I think they're going to be under-owned, and I think it's a big mistake. Mercedes Russell, not for me. I mean, she's going to play 8 to 10 minutes off the bench. Not a very good fantasy point per minute player. Holmes just isn't getting enough minutes, so you can't really play her. And then all the other girls just aren't going to play at all. So that's going to do it for me, guys. Good luck to everybody. If you enjoy the content, leave a like. It helps out the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. And hope to catch you guys in the live stream tomorrow. See you.